Good day, sir. I'm Reza Mipibala from BAS2E. Wealth gap. The term income gap refers to the gap in earnings between two groups such as 1% and the 99% white and black Americans, or, more broadly, the haves and the have-nots. On the other hand, the wealth gap gets at asset and net worth, asset minus debt, rather than looking at just income. Let's go to the income inequality. Income inequality is how unevenly income is distributed throughout a population. Therefore, the less equal the distribution, the higher income inequality is. Income inequality is often accompanied by wealth inequality, which is the uneven distribution of wealth. There are also income inequality effect, and researchers have found include higher rates of health and social problems and lower rates of social goods. On the other hand, a lower population, wide satisfaction and happiness, and even a lower level of economic growth when human capital is neglected for high-end consumption. There's also a gender pay gap. The gender pay gap or gender wage gap is the average difference between the remuneration for men and women who are working. Women are generally considered to be paid less than men. There are two distinct numbers regarding the pay gap, not adjusted versus adjusted pay gap. The United States of America is the richest country in the world, and it has the biggest wealth gap. Therefore, the United States of America led the world in growth of financial assets last year thanks to tax cuts and booming stock market, but its distribution of wealth was more unequal than in any other country. Policies that indirectly reduce income inequality. Income distribution is affected indirectly by patterns of taxation and ownership. Overall, economic inequality is affected by the policies that provided public goods such as health care and education, leaving a larger proportion of individuals' incomes to be spent on the other goods. Income inequality can be reduced directly by decreasing the income of the richest or by increasing the income of the poorest. Policies focusing on the latter include increasing employment of wages and transferring income.
Hello, I'm Christine J. Carpus. I'm going to report wealth, poverty wealth gap. Poverty. Poverty is the state or condition in which a person or community lacks the financial resources and essentials for a minimum standard of living. Poverty means that the income level from employment is so low that basic human needs can be met. Next is factors of poverty: access to good schools, health care, electricity, safe water, and other critical services remain exclusive for many and is often determined by socioeconomic determined by their status, gender, ethnicity, and geography. Absolute poverty, also known as extreme poverty. It involves the scarcity of basic food, clean water, health, shelter, education, and information. Those who belong to absolute poverty tend to struggle to live and experience a lot of child death from preventable disease like malaria, chlorella, and water contamination related disease. Absolute poverty is usually uncommon in developed countries. Next is relative poverty. It is defined from the social perspective that is living standard compared to the economic standard of population living in the surroundings. Hence, it is a measure of income inequality. Situational poverty. It is a temporary type of poverty based on occurrence of an adverse event like environmental disaster, job loss, and severe health problems. People can help themselves even with a small assistance as the poverty comes because of unfortunate events. General poverty. It is handed over to individuals and families from one generation to the one. This is more complicated as there is no escape because the people are trapped in its cause and unable to access the tools required to get out of it. Rural poverty. It occurs in rural areas with population below 50,000. It is an area where there are less job opportunities, less access to service, less support of disabilities, and quality education opportunities. People are tending to live mostly on the farming and other manual work available to the surroundings. Urban poverty. It occurs in the metropolitan areas with population over 50,000 people. There are some major challenges faced by the urban poor. For example, limited access to health and education. Second, inadequate housing and services. Third, violent and unhealthy environment because of overcrowding. Fourth one, little or no social protection mechanism. Characteristics of poverty. Number one is health. One third of deaths are due to poverty-related causes. Those living in poverty suffer from life expectancy. Second is hunger. Rises in a living cost, making poor people less able to afford items. People, poor people spend more of the portion of their budget on to food than rich person. Third is education. Poor, poor children are suffering from hunger, irritability, headache, viral infection, colds, and it is safe to state the children who live at or below the poverty level will have a far less success educationally than children live above the poverty line. Poor children have a great deal less health care and it ultimately results in many absence of the academic year. Fourth is housing. Poverty increases the risk of homeless slum dwellers who make up a third of the world's urban population live in a poverty no better, if not worse, than rural people who are traditional focus of the poverty in the developing world. According to the United Nations, there are over 100 million street children worldwide. Violence. The most common form of which is prostitution as means as survival and economic desperation. Deterioration of living conditions can be often compelled children to abandon school in order to contribute family income. For example, is slavery and human trafficking. Poverty reduction. Andito yung mga kinakailangan ng mga mahirap na tao. Increasing supply of basic needs. Increasing supply of food and other goods. Increasing supply of healthcare and education. Water and energy utilities. Removing constraints on government services. Revising drains. Controlling overpopulation. Increasing personal income. Sa 7 na 'to, ito yung kinakailangan gawin para masolusyunan natin yung mga kailangan ng mga mahirap na tao. Kahit man sa maliit lang na bagay tayo makatulong, at least nakakatulong tayo. Yun lamang po.
And the next one is the economic improvement. So, sa economic improvement, ipasok natin yung yung sa rice tarification law. 'Di ba? Yun na nga, yung mga farmers natin, hirap silang magtanim, pagod, ganun, gastos. Tapos, pagdating ng anihan, binibili na lang sa kanila ng mura. 'Di ba? Syempre parang kawawa naman yung mga farmers natin na nagtatanim, na nagpapagod maghapon, nagpapatubig para lang may makain na bigas at may maibenta sila. Pero dahil na nga sa kahirapan, minsan binibili na lang yung bigas nila sa murang halaga. Kumbaga, minsan 10 piso na lang, 15 pesos per kilo. Ganon. Kaya yun yung isang poverty yun yung isang current situation ng Pilipinas.
What are the government programs that combat poverty and welfare? So, naisip ko dito is yung 4Ps na tinatawag na Pantalog Pamilyang Pilipino program or yung dati tawag dito is yung Bakwan Pamilyang Pilipino. So, 4Ps. 4Ps is a conditional cash transfer of program of the Philippine government under the Department of Social Welfare and Development. So, yung mga nag-benefit dito is yung mga less privileged people or family, yung tinatawag na indigenous family. So, dito is nabibigyan sila ng, I think 6,000 annually para sa kanilang health and nutrition system. Ito yung pambili ng mga essential goods everyday, lalo na pagkain, medicine, ganyan. So, isa pa dito sa mga street families. Street families, gaya ng taong wala silang sariling bahay, ganyan. Mga lang. So, isa na rin dito yung mga person with disability or tinatawag na PWD. Siyempre, kailangan nila ng financial support galing sa gobyerno para sa pambili nila ng medicine, ganyan sa mga nag-therapy. Siyempre, kailangan gusto nila gumaling ng walang pa yung nadanas nila. So, isa pa dito yung mga nabibigyan ng pera is yung mga pamilya ng meron estudyante. So, yung every student, meron 3,000 per school year or 300 per month na allowance. So, yung redistribution. So, redistribution is yung kumukuha sila ng income from the higher companies, yung mga mga trabaho or dun sa mga taong mas nakakakuha ng higher income. So, pina-provide nila yung kukuha nila sa mga taong nakakakuha ng lower income.
Good day, I am Charles Ranzo Nicolas Balagso, Bus 2E. Today I'm going to discuss about as a student what you can do to help and contribute about poverty and wealth gap. Una is create awareness. Social media has become an integral part of our daily life, and now it is time to use it as a voice of social good. Take action on your own. Donate, eliminate gender inequality, create jobs worldwide, increase access to property, sanitation, and clean water, and lastly, educate everyone. Next is wealth gap. First to do is increase the minimum wage. Next is expand the earned income tax. Next is build asset for working families. Next is invest in education and make the tax code for more progress. And lastly, end residential segregation. So that ends my report about poverty and wealth gap. Thank you.
Good day, sir. Ako nga pala si Brian Bagalayos at ang aking report po ay aking discuss ngayon. What you can do to contribute or help in poverty. First is create awareness. Social media has become an integral part of daily life, and now is the time to use it as a voice of social goods. Sharing links on Facebook, Twitter, and other platforms will allow people to earn more about global poverty and will increase the general consciousness of the issue. Dito sa create awareness, kailangan mong maging aware sa lahat ng bagay at maging aggressive sa mga lahat ng bagay tungkol sa mga lalo na ngayon maraming gumagamit ng Facebook, mga apps, application na online kailangan mo maging aware tungkol sa mga nangyayari ngayon dito sa ating kinilalagyan at sa ating lugar. At yun nga, dapat maging aware sa lahat ng bagay. And the next is the take action on your own. There are a few simple ways we can help as individuals, such as founding a poor child's education or by sponsoring a poor family and influencing others to do so. Dito naman is kailangan mo maging gumawa ng iyong action o sariling gawa tungkol sa mga pagtulong sa mga individual na mahihirap na pamilya, para ma-impluwensyahan din yung iba na magbigay at tumulong sa mga kapwang mahihirap na mga pamilya. And the next is the educate everyone. Education is help increase individual earnings for every member of family. Education ito yung napaka-importante talaga sa ating buhay. Ito yung hindi mawawala kasi ito yung pinapangalagaan natin. Pero sa panahon ngayon is maraming pamilya o member ng family na hindi nakapagtapos ng pag-aaral at hindi kaya ng pamilya yung pag-aaral dahil sa mga kakulangan, dahil sa kahirapan. And the next is create jobs worldwide. According to the International Labour Organization, 197 million people are without work worldwide. So dito sa create jobs worldwide, maraming mga hindi nagtatrabaho at nawalan ng trabaho dahil ngayon, lalo na ngayon sa pandemic na to, maraming naghirap, maraming bumabangon sa kahirapan kasi nga dahil sa nangyayari ngayon, mas lalong naghirap yung mga pamilyang nawalan ng trabaho dahil sa nangyari ngayon pandemic. At siyempre kakulangan din sa budget, kakulangan din sa educate. Siyempre, mahihirapan ngayon yung mga gustong magtrabaho kasi nga walang walang masyadong napag-aralan. The next is increase access to proper sanitation and clean water. Ito, access to clean water and sanitation directly affects health and education. Currently, 8 million people live without access to safe water, and 2 billion live without adequate sanitation. Dirty bathroom keep girls from attending school, stopping from receiving an education. Dito naman is nagkukulangan sa safe clean water. Syempre, napaka-importante yan sa atin dahil sa pahirapan ngayon, walang maayos na pinagkukuhanan ng tubig dahil sa mga nangyayari ngayon. Maraming nagkakalat ng virus, syempre dahil sa ating mga kabuhayan nasisira dahil sa mga trabaho natin. Walang kakulangan walang malinis na tubig dahil doon maraming nagkakasakit sa atin at dahil doon ay maraming nagkukulang sa mga tubig, lalo na ngayon sa sobrang init. Daming nagkukulang ng tubig, minsan nga nawawalan pa ng tubig, malilinis na tubig. And that's all po. Yun lang po ang aking report. Salamat.